Hey, I hope all of y'all are doing well. I know I'm about to be rated by my husband, so welcome to Neil's Deals. This is Neil's Meals, rather. This is where this is where I, Neil, cook dinner, or I bake, or I do whatever I'm going to do. Tonight is dinner. We're making a ground pork stir fry, and yeah, so let's get busy making that. The first thing we need to do here, I'm going to move this over here. Is that better? Yeah. All right. So the first thing we need to do is start the rice. I probably should have had this all ready, but I've been fighting some issues with my computer. So, you know how that goes. So I'm going to measure out a cup and a half of rice. It's a raid! I should turn the little sounds off. Or at least turn them down. Welcome, Raiders. You've got to Neil's Meals. This is me, Neil. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Tonight I'm going to cook dinner. I was just getting ready to measure out some rice to start the rice for the meal. I try to make cooking approachable to everyone. Some of my recipes can be a little over the top. Just know that a lot of times you don't necessarily have to do everything I do. So I was measuring rice. I'm going to do about a cup and a half for the two of us. Well, a cup and a half is the least I can do in the Instant Pot. Hey, Aya Rose. How are you? Thank you for coming to my stream. All right. So I'm going to wash this rice over here in the sink. A lot of people don't necessarily believe that this needs to be done. For this particular dish, I like to do it because the particular rice I'm using tends to be a little clumpy. And I like it a little less clumpy. And what I'm using here is just a regular, plain, long grain white rice. Jasmine would be really good with this. Basmati would be too. I guess you could use any other rice, but you want to sort of do it till it starts to look clear. Because you're rinsing off the starch. Usually the rice you get in the US is not too dirty, so. Oh, it's a Snorlax. He's coming to get me. Well, I mean, it's over there. I was afraid to put it here. I thought it would get in the way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't think they need instructions on how to make rice, I would hope. Make rice per your directions. Here, we can turn this a little bit so you can see me. Here, we'll do this. We'll do that.
And
move this over here
a little bit, and we'll look at the Instant Pot.
So I like to spray it because
it sticks sometimes. And then you put your rice in here.
And you get paper
towel to wipe up that water.
You get a measuring cup. Let me
Let me get some water.
All right. So we got about a cup and a half of water, cup and
cup and a half of rice.
It's still a
Still a
little
little milky, but it's fine.
We'll put in a little
little
salt.
salt.
And a little oil. Just a little bit. And then you put the top on. Hit rice, 5 minutes, and start.
Sorry you're having to hear that.
We don't
like it in person much either.
Okay.
The camera mic's on. I'll get it.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
It's my fault. I forgot.
Okay, that should be better now.
Okay, sorry guys.
We were rushed to get the camera phone working. So.
Yes, we were. All right. So we've done the rice. So now, I guess I need to be over here. Guess it would help if I was looking at what I was doing. All right. So we're gonna make the sauce. I think I need to push this over just a little bit. Because my little inset picture tends to be where I stand. Maybe we can move it. I'm thinking I'm moving the big one. No. That's what I think I want to put that over there for now. There we go. Sorry about that. Just a little housekeeping. I just kept walking into the shot. Okay. So, all right. Let's make the sauce. So, for the sauce, we're going to combine about 1/3 of a cup of soy sauce. I'm going to use about 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce. And then a little bit of tamari, because I have it. They do have a slightly different flavor. I have to get that out of the refrigerator, though. And get this and this. And this, because I'll need that. All right. Sorry about that. So tamari. Tamari is often not brewed with wheat, so if you need gluten-free, tamari is a good choice often. All right, so we're going to add some of that. Yep, that about comes up to it. Okay. All right, let's see, we got that. We need about it's on me. We need about a teaspoon of sriracha. I just do about that much. You can do how much ever you want. If you want it spicier, I would go for more. All right, put that back in the refrigerator. We need a teaspoon of rice vinegar. Yeah, I'm not a big spicy person myself, but I mean, it does need some in it. I'm probably going to make this a little sweeter than you would like it, and but it's all sort of a balance that you're trying to strike in it. So I would hit the different notes of the recipe, but sort of move them, move the levers where you want. This is some toasted sesame oil. That's about a teaspoon. That gives a nice smoky quality to it. All right, so we need some ginger. So for ginger, I keep it in the freezer, and I use a microplane on it. Oh, it takes a little bit for that little thing to go up. There it did. I'm hearing the pressure cooker try to seal up. So I've got this knob of ginger here. And the great thing about microplaning it is you don't really even have to peel it. Trying to get all of it out. Kind of sticks. I'd say that's good. All right. Hey, Murray. Okay, so we've got ginger in it. I like ginger, so I'm going to double it up. Yeah, the rasps are nice. Okay. Well, if you missed it, I was microplaning ginger in there. Adio is a tad out of sync. Okay. It is a little slow. I don't know how to fix that. Okay. So how do I do that? You mean
Well, you're gonna have to.
like close it and reopen it?
Yeah. So we're gonna come right back. So stick around, okay?
All right. Sorry about this, folks. Start recording. Start streaming.
I'll let you know.
All right. Hopefully we're back on. In any case, I'm Neil's Meals. Actually, I'm Neil. This is Neil's Meals. I'm making a ground pork stir fry, and I was making the sauce because it's handy to just have it ready. So let's see. I just put fresh ginger in. I'm also going to put a little powdered ginger in because I like to ginger it up. All right. I need some white pepper. I forgot to put that on there. If you don't have white pepper, you can just use black pepper. There. I tried to get all my ingredients out to begin with. I was trying to stop that from happening. Yeah, the stream messed up. I'm not sure what happened. That's about a half a teaspoon of ground white pepper. And then we have dark brown sugar. I don't have dark brown sugar, so I'm going to use light brown sugar. I'm going to use about that much. Oh, thanks, Colby. Yeah, this apron I got as a gift, and it's a really nice apron, but it's for a YouTube channel called Glenn and Friends, which has been very inspiring to me in my cooking. It sort of makes me think of it as a, it's sort of a method more than a recipe. All right, so I'm gonna put just a spoonful of molasses in this because I didn't have the dark. If I can get it open. Sometimes you need the little rubber thing. There we go. You have to wipe that off or you will never get that thing off again. And the reason you use brown sugar in this than white sugar is you're just trying to get that sort of deep flavor from the brown sugar or the molasses. Molasses isn't super sweet, so that's why I use some sugar. All right, and we're also going to put some honey in this, because why not? All right. I should set this up and down. It's a little farty. All right. Well, that's going to have to be enough for right now. And I think the last thing I have is garlic. So I have a few garlic cloves here. Yeah, I know what you mean. Stir this around a little bit. All right. Yeah. Usually Jason does that for me. Although I don't know how he's going to do it. He's dressed like a Snorlax. Everybody has a different way they peel this. A lot of people like to smash it. I've had sort of mixed luck with smashing it. What I tend to do is twist it a little until the paper sort of releases. Sometimes you gotta Peel it from the bottom. We're getting a little knife edge underneath of it. Yeah, the Snorlax onesie. What would we do without it? All right. Technically, you can run garlic through a... I'm going to use a garlic press, and technically you can run it through a press without doing this, but I think it makes it a lot harder to clean. And I don't really want to eat parts of the peel. I believe I call to mince this. However, I'm not a great mincer, so feel free to run it through a garlic press. If you do not have the knife skills. There it is. All right, so we're gonna, in this case, I'm using 3. I think I call for 2. I'm using 3 because these were not super big. All right. And then 3. And, you know, garlic is an interesting thing because everyone thinks it's super intense. But you can sort of moderate the intensity on how much you cut it up. You can use the jarred. I think if you use the jarred, you need to use more because it tends to not be quite as potent. And the last thing I'm going to add to this is, get rid of that, is some chicken broth. And I have a little box of it here if I can get it out. There we go. I don't need a lot. But in this small amount, I'll use it for something else. All right. So put in about that much. Basically just to get up to a cup of liquid. I mean, you could use water. I was just using that. All right. And so you want to kind of stir this. And what you're trying to do is to get the sugar to dissolve, which isn't easy. I'm going to use the spoon I've been stirring with has sugar on it, so I don't think I'll get a good taste of it. That's pretty good. It's got a little kick on the back end, and it'll mellow out when you cook it. All right, yeah, let's just get in there. All right. All right. So you've got the sauce. I'll just set that over here. Basically, you want to make like a sort of savory, sweet ginger kind of sauce like you'd get in beef with broccoli. That's for later. All right. What's next? Okay. So we're going to add some oil to this pan. I'm using a neutral oil tonight. I would suggest a neutral oil. You can use olive oil if you want. Sometimes I do this with olive oil. And I'm just going to give it a little heat. I guess I keep walking off frame, don't I? While that's heating up, I'll get my meat out. So I know J Fry's talked about this a little bit. But this is something I know I've mentioned on stream before that I've used the Service Butcher Box that we've used for our meat. And now you can sort of pick what you want from them. But before you couldn't. You just sort of were at the mercy of them and what they got. And they have promotions. Like one of the promotions I got early on was bacon for life. So in every box they send me bacon. I think I also got one that was ground beef for life. So they add those to the box free. All right, so I've got some scallions or green onions here. I don't know. Some people call all little onions like this green onions. Some people call them all scallions. I tend to think of the smaller ones as scallions and the sort of thicker ones as green onions. And then you can get a spring onion, which a spring onion is like this would be more bulbous. So I'm just going to try to dry these off a little. You had last night for dinner, Zab? What did you have? What I'm cooking? I don't see how you could have had what I'm cooking since I don't know of any other people who make it. So we have a knife, and I guess we could turn this around so you can see it. All right, so I need to put this on this side, I think. Okay. Well, this is a weird view. Sorry. Can't be helped. I mean, it can be. Oh, broccoli. Broccoli with beef. Okay, yeah. I like, and it's funny because one of our friends once said that only the Chinese would think to candy meat. And it's kind of true if you think about it, if you've ever had like General Tso's or orange chicken or sesame chicken. It's really sweet. I sort of do those to like that much that I cut like this, right? And I'll put them in a little bowl. Oh, that's heating up. I can smell it. Oh, all right. Let's go back to this. And we'll do this from over here. Yep. So I'm going to take this off for a second because it's a little hot. Turn it down a little bit. All right, so I need the scissors that aren't there. All right, so I need this little knife. All right, so I've opened the package here, and I'm going to try to set this in without doing something crazy. I'll put a lid over it for just a second while I wash my hands. Wash your hands after touching meat. It's very important. You don't want to make anyone sick. All right. So I have a little towel here. Set that over there. And so you could break all of this up into, you know, like you would for spaghetti or something. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. I like to do it in little chunks. Yeah, so you just want these to sort of cook. Trying to get some color on them. Put that one just into like chunks. Okay. So you have that cooking. Oh, well. Thank you for coming, Chef. All right. And so now we're back here. And so what I like to do with these bigger, greener pieces is sort of slice them into little bigger pieces. And I'll use these as sort of an herb at the end. I dropped one on the floor. All right. So these I put in a little earlier so they can cook a little bit. And these I put in later. All right, so we have our pork is cooking, and we've chopped our vegetables that we need to chop, because all the rest of the vegetables come in bags, pre-chopped for us. This is meant to be something quick. Well, relatively quick. All right, so I guess we'll put this back over here. Is that good? Yeah, that's better. All right. So you can see this is cooking. It's let out some water. I'm going to give it a little bit of salt. And some white pepper. They don't look too good right now, but as it sort of cooks, and I've turned it on a little higher, but you can see this got some color on it, and that's what you really want, is that sort of color you get. You can get it to sort of stick to the pan a little bit. This pan, it doesn't stick to super easy. It probably would have been better to make this in a stainless steel pan. Alright, so we're turning all that over. I know this is a fish spatula. I'm sure someone is calling me on it. But I find that because it has that sort of bladed end, it works really well for this. I'm going to cut that one in half. Let's push these hottest parts in the center. Let's push this one that's got that raw spot. Let's push that there. All right. Got one that has a little less color. I would move it to the middle. Well, part of it is the stove. If your stove cooks evenly, you don't have to do this. But we do with what we have. This is actually a pretty affordable meal. You're doing it with rice. The vegetables don't cost a lot, and the pork doesn't cost as nearly as much as like ground beef or whole chicken. But you could do this with ground chicken, you could do this with pork. You can do the same recipe with little chunks of meat. Like I said, this was just something I came up with to use up ground pork. But people liked it so much that I kept making it. Alright, so we have the sauce, we have that. I didn't get one thing out. It's a Teflon, it's a hex-clad pan, so it's got like metal that is exposed that keeps the utensils above the non-stick. I don't know if it's Teflon or if it's ceramic. Alright. About another minute, and then we'll pour the sauce in. Now, if you're new in here, this sauce is a combination of soy sauce, tamari, sriracha, rice vinegar, toasted sesame oil, grated fresh ginger, powdered ginger, light brown sugar and I put in some little molasses, some honey, and 2 cloves of garlic. And I added some chicken stock in to thin it out a bit. And it's good. Alright. So now, you're going to pour this in there. And you're going to turn the heat down a little bit. You want this to sort of reduce some. That. Hopefully I'm not fogging up the phone. All right. So the reason I'm using the metal spatula is they've told me that it's safe to use a metal spatula in the Hexclad pan. That's the way they sell them. I don't scrape it too much, and it doesn't show any real wear. I use that fish spatula because it has sort of a knife edge on it, and it makes it easier to cut the meat into the chunks. All right, while that's cooking, I need a little cornstarch. And a little plastic container. Sometimes you get a old Tupperware container. All right. So a lot of people will tell you when you make a cornstarch slurry that you should, take some cornstarch, which I'm going to do. It's already on me because it goes everywhere. Take some cornstarch and then add some water to it, a little more water than you did cornstarch, and then stir it together. I'm not a fan of stirring it together. What I'm a fan of doing it is putting it in this little container and putting the lid on. You want to use a container that the lid seals, and shaking it up. Instant cornstarch slurry. Okay. So this is cooked down a little bit. Let's so it's gotten a little thick, and you want to sort of color the pieces with the sauce. So you're kind of turning them around in the sauce, and it'll get the color of the sauce. All right. In fact, that's done it enough that I might need to add a little water to it. All right. So we have this meat in this pan, and it's been cooking, simmering in this concoction I created. And you see how it sort of covers the meat, soaks into it. This is your main seasoning for the dish, so. I did throw a little on the meat. All right, so I'm gonna need that. All right. So about now, when it sort of looks like this, it's bubbling a little bit, maybe turn it down a little, and then we're going to put in I'm going to put in two things, because I got two types, because I like variety, well, some variety. So, it calls for a pound. Oh, this is a pound. Oh, well, silly me.
Nothing, I'm just checking the stream. Looks okay.
It looks okay.
Alright. It was skipping a little.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've had a few problems tonight. So I have a container of broccoli slaw. What I thought it was is that this was going to be smaller, and I was going to sub some of it with this coleslaw mix. What I might do is just go half and half because I like the cabbage in it too. All right. Well, I'll put this in. And then I'm going to put maybe that much of that. So this is a little more veg, but well, y'all have seen me. I can use some more veg. All right. So what you want to do is put these vegetables in here, sort of stir it up a little bit. Probably going to need a little more water to maintain the sauce. But the vegetables will release some of it. So we'll put the lid on it. Give it a little heat. And maybe throw in a little bit more water because the vegetables have sort of soaked it up. Browser Big Bear Burrito, welcome to the stream. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. I'm pretty new to doing this. This is my third stream. And it probably kind of looks like it. So I think now I'm going to switch to a pair of tongs. So I can sort of turn this over. Alright, so that just has to cook down some. Generally, you want to give the vegetables about 4 to 5 minutes. I guess I could ask if anybody has any questions about the recipe so far. I'm going to post this online on my Discord, and I think I can do this if it's working right. Yep. So you can go to my Discord there and follow it. I also go post it on YouTube and probably Blue Sky, and you can go to my link tree. There. If you're just in here, this is a ground pork stir fry. This was something I made originally just to use up some ground pork that I didn't know what to do with. Alright, so that's cooking a little harder than I want, but we've got some water now that's released from the veg. At this level, while it's still simmering, I'm going to put in my cornstarch. Let's not put all of it in yet. We'll sort of stir it around. Watch it thicken. It's got a little thickening. Does have to come back up to a simmer though. Yeah, you can see the bubbles, how they're kind of slow. They kind of come out and it's running sort of thick. I think I want it a little bit more. All right. So that's starting to look just about there. So I'm going to throw these in. And I'll cook it for a minute. With those in there. Just so they get a little bit. It's going to be ready here soon. Alright, I'm going to need a fork. My rice thing. Alright, so at this point, you can see that the vegetables are basically done. The sauce is thick where you can see it. So we want to turn this off. Take it off the heat. And then put in our tops. And just let the carryover heat of that do it. I'm going to put you over here. I think we're looking at the top of the... Here, I'll put this back a little bit. Is that better? Yeah. I think it is. All right. So this is our rice. Oh, it's stuck. Let me see if I change it. I think my OBS is stuck again. Okay. Oh, it's circling, so. You just want to fluff the rice up with a fork.
We can't see anything because everything's so close.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to look and it wasn't moving. So you just fluff the rice. If you've ever seen fluff the rice with a fork, that's what they mean. That's what they mean to do. You don't want to leave it all chunky. All right.
Yeah, you're right. We're losing.
Are we losing
connection
frames?
with the phone.
Are we losing connection with the phone?
Yeah.
It still seems to be going here, but we can just switch to the one camera. Okay. So we've got the rice. These have turned nice and green. Put this in here. And one last thing I'm going to do, this isn't in the recipe, is I'm going to throw in some sesame seeds. Because I have a bunch of them. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to put some rice on some plates. Oh, we just have that.
We only have that one now.
Do we even have sound or anything?
Yeah, you got sound.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know what happened to the other camera.
Well, I guess we'll do this.
Well, I'm not working on it.
Oh, well, I was just trying. Did the camera turn off? I think it turned off.
Oh. That would be it.
Okay. I hope y'all are out there. I'm not sure. We're having some issues.
Hey, you just talk to that one.
Okay. So we're just going to dispense this out. I put some sesame seeds in it just because I have a bunch. I just kind of spoon it on top of the rice. Kind of looks like a mess. I've got the rice in it. Okay. There's one. That's probably not the one for the picture.
There you go, Merrick. I guess I need to get my phone for the picture.
Yeah, he's going to have to take the picture of it. All right, so there is what it looks like. It's a lot on the plate because I'm just sort of splitting it with just the two of us. And I put a little more veg in there. But that's dinner. It's kind of a mess. I mean, it doesn't look as appealing as I'd hoped.
Switch to that if you want.
But it will.
Really, it does taste
It
really
will.
good.
It will taste good. We got the color on the meat. The vegetables may have gone a little past where I wanted them to go. That happens sometimes when I'm fooling around with stuff.
Well, also, this is probably the first time you've cooked it while instructing how to cook it.
That's true.
So,
But I guess this is a little bit of a short stream because this is a little bit of a short recipe. I do love that y'all have come to visit me. I try to make this an engaging space, cook something that's delicious, and sort of teach you along the way if I can. Probably this week I'll stream some baking something. It may be cookies again. This recipe is really easy. It can really feed 4 to 5 people if you add enough rice and veg to it to bring that all up to a serving. Like this is probably too much for the two of us, but
I was going to say it's a little much.
we'll just eat what we want, and then we'll probably scrape our plates because no one says you have to eat all the food, even though your mother did. Let's see. We need to rate out. I think I had this up. Yep. Leftovers are good. Yeah. You just want to make new rice. I probably should have saved some of it out for leftovers. Somebody's making a churro cake. I think we're going to go to them. They're following me. They're making a churro cake. Let's see if it's okay. He looks like he's in there. He might have stepped away. Yeah, looks like he is. So we're gonna raid over to Coyote. Looks like he's a VTuber, but you sort of see him on, and he's making a cake.
Without being.
Yeah. So that'll be our raid. Thank you all so much for putting up with me while I'm new at this.
Yeah, and sorry we've had so many technical
Sorry
problems
we've had
today.
technical problems. We've had like an hour and a half of technical problems. But thank you for coming in. Please enjoy this meal if you want. I'll post it to YouTube. And I'll throw all the links into Discord with the recipe. Y'all have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.